Okay, I think it's time to talk about the elephant in the room. I've seen you. I've seen all of you. For my wisdom knows no bounds, and I've come to notice a common theme amongst beginner artists, and even some of the more median artists. And that theme is sketching with scratchy, unconfident lines that prevent you from making a clear, legible sketch. Even some of my more experienced friends draw with scratchy lines when they do anatomy sketches, preventing them from drawing the true shapes and forms of each limb. And when I say scratchy sketching, I don't mean a messy first draft. I'm talking about the more extreme habit of scribbling in lines, a lot thicker and jagged than what the end result might be. In this video, I would like to go through each of the reasons a person might be doing scratchy sketches, and ways that you can overcome them with time and focus. But before that, it would be great if you could like this video and share it with some of your art friends. If you like art-related videos and tutorials, don't be afraid to subscribe either. I'm hoping together we can build an art community that promotes growth for beginner and intermediate artists, so we can help each other transcend and reach greatness. Now, onto the video. The first reason I think people have scratchy sketches is because they are rushing. This is actually a common theme in other areas of art as well. Everyone wants to draw and finish art fast. The issue is that you are most likely rushing something you don't understand. If you can't draw something good at a normal pace, then trying to draw it fast just ensures you will make more mistakes, even if you are using reference. Examples of this can commonly be found when studying human anatomy and gesture. Due to the complexity of the human form, it is difficult to get an accurate line on the first try. But it's important to remember that you don't need a picture-perfect representation right away. To fix this, first, you must understand that drawing speed is not about how fast you can brush pen across paper, but about muscle memory, technique, and experience. The latter being the most important. So, if you are a beginner or even a median artist, you are naturally going to draw things slowly until you gain enough experience to make you faster. Embrace your situation, and instead of drawing fast with scratchy lines, draw slow with long strokes and use Ctrl-Z when you make a mistake. Or, if you are drawing on paper, try to keep all your pencil strokes on the same path so that even if you repeat a stroke, it will flow into the marks already made. Another reason people draw with scratchy lines would either be not thinking or overthinking, which seems to be the only two states we have as artists. The thing is, if you aren't thinking about where you put your lines beforehand, you are more likely to sketch multiple lines until it looks like something you like. And when you overthink, you pretty much do the same thing. Your goal is perfection, and if the first stroke doesn't fit, then you continue to draw on top of it until you get something that looks close to what you want. Both results leave you with a drawing that you believe is kind of what you were going for, but could potentially be far from it. If you are someone that switches between over and underthinking when you sketch, or you just do one, I recommend to build a habit or even a few habits for when you sketch. That way, you won't have to rely heavily on over or underthinking. For example, I have my fingers on the undo button at all times. So when I make a line that doesn't work, it is immediately vaporized before I can sketch over it. Another thing you can do is to use a thicker brush or pencil. Small brushes and mechanical pencils can often be too small, and sometimes you have to sketch over your lines in order to get the thickness you like. You can also force yourself to only use one stroke when drawing certain shapes or lines, especially round shapes. These are habits that I am trying to form for myself, and I am closer to having clean sketches than I have ever been. Forming habits will take time, but if you commit to them, it will become easier. You can even create your own habits to help any specific problems you may have. Another reason people make scratchy sketches could be a lack of confidence or experience. Oftentimes these go hand in hand. You don't draw something often enough, so you don't feel you're capable of drawing it well. The first line you make doesn't feel right, so you draw over it. Line confidence is something that comes from experience and takes time to form. But once you do, it will be easier to approach almost every subject with clean lines. In order to gain line confidence, you could once again set habits to follow when you sketch, specifically limiting the strokes you make when you draw as well as using Ctrl-Z. But other than that, it would be by doing studies of the subject you are drawing. Limiting your strokes while doing these studies is also recommended. Think of drawing like writing for a second. You don't use scratchy lines when you write, you kinda just do it. That's because after practice and conditioning, you are able to write/draw each letter with a few strokes. And if you know cursive, even more so. With focus and commitment, you can be just one decision away from having cleaner sketches. I would also like to add that you don't have to rely on just Ctrl-Z. Remember, if you are further along in the process, you can use the eraser tool if a line is no longer working for the drawing. And if you are on paper, try to sketch light so that it can be erased without messing up the paper. Also, don't be afraid to restart entirely. I know it might feel like you would be losing progress, but you can still take everything you learned over to the next drawing, and that's what's important. If you feel like there are other reasons why you may have scratchy sketches, or you know other solutions for the problem, please let us know in the comments below, so we can all help each other grow. Well, if you don't know by now, I hope this video was helpful to at least one of you out there. If not, let us know in the comments what could be done better. And if you know of other ways we can level up our art skills, let us know that as well. Also, while you're down there, I would love it if you would subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can see what I do next. But until we meet again, I would just like to say, welcome to Edenwick.